Do you have an ugly string of hearts that doesn't have a lot of leaves on it and it looks like it's dying? Well, today I'm going to share with you how easy it is to revive this plant to turn it into a stunning plant that has a lot of leaves, a lot of chains, and it looks super full and lush. So first of all, what we're going to do is actually repot the plant. And it's important to repot a string of hearts. I generally say every couple of years or maximum 3 years, because by that time the soil, there's not enough nutrients in it, even if you're fertilizing it for the actual plant to grow lush and full. So I tend to repot my string of hearts every 2 to 3 years. It's important also to choose the correct pot size, because you don't want a pot that's too big because that will hold too much water while watering. And you don't want a pot that's too small because it's not going to be enough room for the new roots to grow. I tend to choose one pot size bigger than the original pot, not just in the width of the pot, but also the depth of the pot. And so how I choose that this self-watering red pot is actually double the size of the depth of the original pot, and the width, it's about half. When you think about it, it's about half of the actual width of the original pot. And also what I'm going to do is actually remove the plant from its original pot, and I'm going to remove any excess soil. And while I'm removing that excess soil, I'm checking the roots. I'm checking for any root rot, because you don't want to keep any roots that have rotted away, because that can attract bacteria or fungal disease and lead to root rot. And root rot can kill plants, not just string of hearts, but any plants. And root rot, you can tell root rot by looking at the roots. If the roots are nice and white, it means that the roots are super healthy. If the roots are dark brown, they're black, they're mushy, or the roots have this funky smell to it, then that's actually the roots have rotted away. So it's important to remove those roots. I tend to I only leave about 3 inches of roots from the original plant, which is about 7.5 centimeters. I just found that while growing string of hearts, it actually, when repotting the plant, it actually helps the plant to grow faster this way by actually removing the majority of the roots and only leaving 3 inches, which is 7.5 centimeters. And while you're removing the roots and the excess soil, you may see these potato-like shapes in the soil. What they are, they're aerial tubulars. Now, aerial tubulars can be in the soil and they can become very large potato-looking shapes, or they can actually also be on the chains as well, and they look like more small little potatoes or small little balls on the actual plant. And you can also use, if you do find that these aerial tubulars drop off by accident, you can actually use those tubulars and repot it into the new pot. And because these aerial tubulars, they contain a lot of nutrients, they contain a lot of water, they have actually nodes. So nodes are where a new plant can grow out of it. So if you find that these aerial tubulars drop off, don't throw them away. Repot it back into the new pot, and then it'll make the new plant look super full and super lush. So what I also do is that I don't completely fill the pot with soil. I leave about 5 inches of space from the top of the plant to the bottom of the plant. The reason for that is once you put the original plant into the new pot, if it's too high, then the soil is gonna overflow. And if there's not enough room or not enough depth in that pot, what's going to happen is the plant's going to be buried too deep into the pot, and that can also lead to rotting of the plant. Once the plant is in the new pot, I'm just going to backfill it. I sometimes shake the pot as well just to help to get rid of air pockets. So I'm just going to backfill the new pot and fill all around the plant, making sure that the soil is nice and compact and the plant is nice and secure in the actual soil. Also, what I tend to do is sometimes I also cover slightly the top of the plant. I cover about 1 inch, which is about 1.5 centimeters. I cover the top. What it means is that a lot of times when repotting stringer hearts, you can see a lot of these area roots are actually exposed at the top of the soil. And by covering those, it encourages the plant to actually grow new stringer hearts from it. So over time, it will look more full and lush. So I carefully backfill it. What I tend to do is I use a chopstick. And what a chopstick or any sort of stick that you have, what that does is that if you use a chopstick, if you go around the plant, and also another tip is that if you happen to drop soil on the actual area that you're repotting the plant, don't waste it. Just put it back into the new pot because it's actually good soil. There's nothing wrong with it. So in this here, I'm using a chopstick to go around the pot. And what I'm doing is that I'm helping to get rid of air pockets in the soil. Then you can shake the pot by shaking the pot can help to get rid of air pockets. But this pot here is quite heavy, so it's too heavy for me to shake it. So I'm just using a chopping stick, getting rid of the air pockets. It's important to get rid of the air pockets because air pockets don't help the plant at all. They actually hinder the growth of the plant because it prevents the plant from actually gaining water and nutrients in that area. And also you can see that a lot of times when you get rid of the air pockets, there's not enough soil. So you need to actually refill the pot even more and then keep on going around again with the actual stick to get rid of more air pockets to compact the soil as well. And once that's done, once the actual plant is nice and secure, that the actual air pockets are got rid of, then it's time to actually water the plant. And it's important to re-water a plant where after repotting, or sometimes what you can do is that you can actually moisten the soil before you actually repot the plant, and that helps for the actual soil to be compact and also not the soil, dust particles from the soil from actually going into the air and breathing it. So it keeps the soil in the soil rather than in the air. So after re-watering it, and I'm only using tap water and I'm only lightly watering the plant. I don't need actually to water completely the soil because remember there's only about 3.5 inches of or 7.5 centimeters of roots there. So the plant doesn't need to be completely watered. I use a plastic cover to cover the plant. And what the plastic cover does, and this is just Glad wrap, it helps to increase the humidity. If you don't have that, you can actually use a microwave cover or any sort of clear cover that you have. It increases the humidity and just helps the plant to actually grow roots faster to leading a more healthier plant. And it's not absolutely necessary. I just found that it just helps. And then put the plant in an area where the stringer hearts receives a lot of sunlight. And you will notice that over the time, the stringer hearts will grow super lush and full. And just make sure that the soil becomes dry before you re-water it again. So this is a stringer hearts I did, and I'm going to share with you updates on the stringer hearts that I just repotted so you can see how it grows. I'll see you in the next video.